Well, everybody, it's spooky season, so let's talk about Justice League Dark and how I think it's coming in to the DCU. Join me today as I dive deep into the darker corners of the DC universe and explore what makes Justice League Dark such an exciting concept. So often, when we think of the DC universe, we imagine bright colors, epic battles, and iconic superheroes like Superman and Wonder Woman. But there's a darker side to this universe, a realm where magic and supernatural reign supreme. And today, we're going to delve into the fascinating aspects of the Justice League Dark and its role in the darker side of the DC universe. So let's get into it. This team of supernatural heroes has captivated readers with its blend of magic, mystery, and suspense. But what makes the Justice League Dark so unique? And how is it going to fit into James Gunn's DC universe? To find these answers, let's take a journey into the unknown and explore the darker corners of DC that you may be unfamiliar with. So Justice League Dark was created by writer Peter Milligan and artist Michael Janin, who sought to craft a series that would delve into the more mystical aspects of the DC universe. The team's first appearance in 2011 marked a new direction for DC Comics, one that would explore the intersection of magic and superheroes. Peter Milligan stated in an interview that he hoped to write something emotionally dark set in the DC universe, comparing his characters to detectives who struggle to cope with the things that they see and have to do. This type of idea actually seems ripe for the picking in James Gunn's DCU. The artwork of Michael Janin brought the team to life, infusing the series with a dark, gritty tone that perfectly captured the mood and atmosphere of the story. Janin's artwork has been widely praised for its detailed, atmospheric style, which adds to the sense of suspense and foreboding that permeates the series. Now, in addition to the comics, Justice League Dark has also been adapted into animation. The animated film, simply titled Justice League Dark, and its successor, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, were both critical successes, with the latter earning a 100% critic score and 90% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. There have also been several live-action projects for the members of the team, including Swamp Thing and Constantine, first played by Keanu Reeves, followed by Matt Ryan. More on these characters in just a moment, but James Gunn, please bring Matt Ryan back as Constantine. He was brilliant. There have been multiple efforts to try and get a live-action Justice League Dark film or series off the ground, with names like Guillermo del Toro, Doug Liman, and most recently, J.J. Abrams attached, but talks have seemingly halted after Gunn's DC reboot. So you might be asking by now, who are the members of this team? This is a roster that often feels like a revolving door, but I would say that there are 4 members that are most often associated with the name. First up is John Constantine, the cynical and irreverent magician and one of the team's most iconic members. With his quick wit and sharp tongue, Constantine is a perfect anti-hero, always ready to push the boundaries and challenge the status quo. Then we have Zatanna, the powerful mystical daughter of Zatanna, who brings a touch of magic and glamour to the team. Swamp Thing is up next, and he pretty much resembles an anthropomorphic mound of vegetable matter, seeking to protect nature and humanity from threats of supernatural origin, while providing a connection to the natural world. Finally, there's Deadman, once a trapeze artist who was murdered and then granted the power to possess any living being. To this day, he continues to haunt Earth and works to balance the scales of justice while protecting the innocent. Other members of the team have included Frankenstein, Detective Chimp, Man-Bat, Dr. Fate, and it even had Wonder Woman lead the team in its 2018 run prior to Dark Knight's Metal. As you can probably see already, each of these characters brings their unique personalities and abilities and backgrounds to the team, making Justice League Dark a fascinating team to explore and bring to the big screen. Whether they're facing off against demonic entities or battling against ancient magical threats, the team works together to protect the DC universe from the forces of darkness. It's a special role to fill as the mainstream Justice League handles more out in the open threats like aliens and metahumans. So the question is, how could this team make its debut into the DCU? And more specifically, what role could they play in the Gods and Monsters chapter of James Gunn's overarching story? Well, first off, let's lay a few facts out. We know that based on its title, this chapter will feature gods and monsters. We also know that from the Lantern series coming to HBO, that the Lanterns will discover a terrifying mystery that ties into the larger story of the DCU. We are also getting a Swamp Thing film directed by James Mangold, who describes it as a noir horror story focusing on the character's psyche, which will be tonally different from the rest of the DCU and will be treated as a standalone project, but will still feed into the rest of the stories. And we also know that Creature Commandos is introducing several supernatural related characters to the DCU, including Frankenstein and the Bride. So what do I take from this? Well, to me, I think so much will get answered for us in that Green Lantern series that will dictate the potential role of the Justice League Dark. If this mystery that they discover is indeed supernatural, then I think there's a strong case that this actually ties into Swamp Thing and the Green. Now, the Green is a unified consciousness or elemental force that connects all vegetation, not just on Earth, but in all worlds beyond this one, past, present, and future. It gets pretty sweaty when you start to talk about ethereal realms, the parliament of trees, the rot, and so on and so forth. But I will absolutely make a video all about the Green, maybe closer to Swamp Thing's release. Swamp Thing is essentially the protector of the Green, and I think whatever is going on in the DCU is going to directly affect the Green in some way, and Swamp Thing will need to seek help. That said, James Mangold has said that this will be standalone, so by that, I just think that the film will very much focus on the gothic horror vibes in a Frankenstein-esque setting. So I think we will learn about the Green, but it'll be pretty surface level until towards the end of the film or in a post-credit scene when you find out something's wrong. Now, I don't think you will see the full formation of the Justice League Dark before we even get a Justice League movie. So as a result, it's probably much more in the discussion for chapter 2 of the DCU. But as we know, the DCU is a very lived-in universe. So this mystery could definitely put Swamp Thing in communication with John Constantine or Zatanna and plant the seeds for a future ensemble. It's these connections that make me feel excited to see the DCU start to form and tie together. The possibility that we get a supernatural connection through this year's Creature Commandos, the first DCU project, is also quite high. So I'll be sure to talk about any connections we find from that after its December 5th release. Speaking of connections, I will be dropping a video next month on who the DCU big bad could be. Now, I have 2 picks that could very easily be what James Gunn is going for, and both tie nicely into Swamp Thing, this Lantern's mystery, and Gods and Monsters, and the Justice League Dark itself. So if you want to check that out, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out, because we are getting sweaty in that video, so don't miss it. Well, that's a wrap on this one, guys. So who is your favorite Justice League Dark member, and what do you hope to see from the supernatural side of the DCU? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the darker corners of the DC universe, and I will catch you on the flippity flip.